Hello, and thanks for joining this webinar about training and awareness for cybersecurity standards. And let's just wait a minute for everyone to join the webinar. And while we're waiting, let me just know where are you calling in from. So I'm calling in from Zagreb, from Croatia. And how about you? If you can just let me know the city and the country where you are from, you can actually send this message through this Q&A panel in Zoom or through a chat message through LinkedIn, just for me to get a feeling on where all the people are located. I see Turin, Italy, great. Also Italy, Portugal, great. Thanks for letting me know. It's great to know that people are from all of these countries are interested. I see South Carolina, US, great. Okay, Greece, nice, great. Thank you. Okay, yeah, while we are waiting, just a couple of notes. So we will be recording this webinar, and you'll be able actually to watch the webinar on the same page where you registered for the webinar. So if you registered on Advisera page, then you will see the webinar basically on the same page. If you registered on YouTube or LinkedIn, again, you will see basically on the same page where you are seeing the live webinar. And second thing, you'll be able to download this presentation deck, and basically at the end of the webinar I'll tell you how you can download the deck. So we'll provide the link, and then you will be able to download the same thing, the same presentation that you're watching now, that you will be watching during this presentation. Okay, well, great. I think we can start now. So welcome to this webinar, how to use Company Training Academy for NIS2, DORA and ISO 27001 training and awareness. My name is Dejan Kosutic, and I'm the main ISO 27001 NIS2 and DORA expert at Advisera, a company that makes compliance easy to understand and simple to use. So today's webinar is streamed through Zoom, but also through LinkedIn and YouTube Live, and it will last approximately 50, maybe 55 minutes. And I'll try to make it as interactive as possible. So, you know, you can ask any questions that you're interested in, and I'll try to answer them, you know, even during my presentation. So we will have this Q&A session at the end, but you don't have to wait for this Q&A session. You can ask questions basically anytime you want. And the more questions you ask, it will be more interesting. So by all means, please do ask as many questions as you want. All right, so let's see, why is this training and awareness important? Well, it's important because it's mandatory, right? Both, all of these three frameworks explicitly require that company performs training and awareness. And actually, I'll show you exactly the clauses and articles where this is required in a couple of slides. And basically this what I'll explain in this webinar today is how to speed up the training and awareness programs using a training platform. So basically it's about, you know, what you can actually do if you are a professional in charge of cybersecurity training and awareness, on how you can actually help your company and yourself to perform this job in a better way. And yes, this webinar is intended for both companies, meaning professionals within companies that are in charge of this job, as well as for consultants who are actually helping their clients raise awareness and create these training programs. And I'll show a couple of things very interesting for consultants, how they can actually use these tools to help their clients. Okay, now let's move on to this one of the main points. So I would say that you know, you can actually deliver these training and awareness programs for cybersecurity in a different way. So I'll actually show you three main channels actually to do this, or three main ways to deliver these trainings. And one of them will be these training platforms. And actually these kind of training platforms are very good for one of these use cases, also what I'll show you. And for that particular use case, they can actually decrease the costs and make this whole training and awareness much easier. So stick with me during the webinar. I'll explain you, all about these options and which option is better for which kind of situation. Good. Now let's move on to the agenda. By the way, you can let me know through a chat message which of these items in the agenda you prefer the most. If you let me know this, then I'll know what to focus on the most and where to spend most of the time at today's webinar. So we'll go definitely through this training requirements from 27001 from NIS2 and DORA. I'll show you exactly the clauses and articles. Then I'll explain why do you need to adapt your training for specific training audiences, within your company. I'll explain this in one slide, and then what are these three options actually to deliver a company-wide training. I'll also show you this training platform called Company Training Academy. This is a Advisera product. And I'll also show you a version of this training platform that is made for consultants. So basically we'll see how a consultant can use this training platform to serve their clients. And I'll also mention pricing and options for this. Okay, I see an input from Luca for second and last topic. Okay, very well. Adapting topics for specific audiences. Okay, very well. I'll definitely try to explain this in more detail. Great. Yeah, let me then move on. Yeah, let me now go through this boring part where I'll present you all the requirements from ISO 27001 and the other standards. So first of all, there is this clause 7.2. Basically, this requires what kind of the standard requires that companies define what kind of knowledge and skills are required from each employee, and then actually to perform training or deliver or enhance these competencies in some other way, and then measure whether each individual has achieved this desired level. So you have this kind of I would say training cycle, which needs to be performed in this in each company. Also, there's this clause 7.3, which requires companies to raise security awareness, and this security awareness has to cover security policies, contribution of each employee to these security policies, and what happens if they are not compliant. So these are actually the specific requirements from the standard. Now let me show you actually one resource on our website, and this is called Big Guide to ISO 27001 clauses. And when you scroll down, you will actually see all the clauses within the standard. So you can see here clause 4.4 and then 4.1 and so on. Now let's go for this clause that I mentioned. So 7.2 and 7.3. So here it is, competence. So when I open it, you will actually see that you have a description of this clause, that you have a suggestion what kind of documentation could be needed, that you actually see some templates here, and some suggested implementation steps, and also audit evidence. So all of these things are available on Advisera website, and we actually shared a link now with you. You'll see a link in the chat message, and when you open this link, you will actually see all of these resources. Now, just to mention here, if you joined the webinar through Zoom or through YouTube, then you can simply click this link and it will open right away. If you join the webinar through LinkedIn, then because of some internal limitations in LinkedIn, you can't actually click this link. But the workaround for this is that you simply copy the whole URL and then paste it into your browser, and you will see what I'm showing you now. Anyway, this is available, of course, for any clause here. So this is 7.3. When you open it, you will see again explanation and so on. Good. Now let's move on back to my presentation. We'll also share now with you a link to an article. It's called "How to Perform Training and Awareness for ISO 27001," and there you will learn a little bit more about how you can actually create training for the standard. Now, when we move on to this NIS2, NIS2 is basically cybersecurity regulation for critical infrastructure companies in Europe. And it actually requires that all the members of the management body and employees go through the training. Now let me go back to Advisera's page and actually show you how this looks like. So I'm showing you now this NIS2 directive and Article 20. And here in Article 20 I highlighted this part. So members of the management bodies are required to follow training and encourage essential important entities to offer similar training to their employees on a regular basis, and so on. So basically this is something that is directly written in NIS2. So this is obligatory basically for any country and for any local legislation that is based on NIS2. Good. Let me just besides NIS2, there is also this CIR, which stands for Commission Implementing Regulation. It's 2024 2690, and basically this specific regulation is intended for digital critical infrastructure companies. Anyway, it has this Annex A, and in this annex you will see this Section 8 about basic cybersecurity hygiene practices and security training. And it's a quite lengthy article here, as you can see. And I highlighted part of it. So offer to their employees, members of the management bodies, directly suppliers and service providers appropriate in accordance to point 5 and so on. So basically, again, we shared with you the link to this, both to the NIS2 and to this CIR in chat message. So you will be able to open these links and then explore these regulations in much more detail. Okay, let me go back to my presentation. So I've shown you this and this. So Annex Section 8. Yeah, basically these CIR also requires that these trainings are scheduled, that they cover all the policies, threats, and cybersecurity measures, these kind of things. All right, we'll also share now with you another article, a link to another article. It's called "How to Perform Training and Awareness According to NIS2." So if you're specifically interested in NIS2, then you will see a lot of information, useful information there. Also in this article, you will see suggestions of particular targeted audiences and what kind of topics from NIS2 you can actually cover for these audiences. Okay, now let's move on to DORA. DORA is cybersecurity regulation for financial organizations in Europe. And it's even more specific than NIS2. And there are several articles that you see listed here. So let me switch again my screen and show you how this looks like. So DORA, this is what? Article 5, paragraph 4. Members of the management body of the financial entity shall keep up to date with the sufficient knowledge and skills to understand, and then a couple of things there. Then there is this Article 13, Section 6. Financial entities shall develop ICT security awareness programs and digital operational resilience training as compulsory modules in their staff training schemes. Those programs and trainings shall be applicable to all employees and senior management staff and shall have a level of complexity commensurate with the remit of their functions. Where appropriate, financial entities should also include ICT third-party service providers in these trainings. So it's not only for employees of these financial organizations, it's also for their suppliers. Not all of them, but where appropriate. So ICT suppliers, ICT, by the way, stands for Information and Communication Technology. So this would mean all the IT companies and telecommunication companies. So it goes even wider here, because here, let's say, if you're a bank, then you also have to organize this security training and awareness, not only for your employees, but also for these suppliers. Okay, let's see further what DORA says. DORA also says, there are these, so DORA has these sub-regulations, these regulatory technical standards. One of them is this 2024-1774, and then as you can see, this is the one, 2024-1774. So in Article 28, it basically specifies that financial organizations need to have the budget necessary to fulfill in financial entities digital operational resilience, including relevant ICT awareness programs and training and also other skills. Okay, and then if you go for yeah, basically this is this is what I wanted to show you. So going back to my presentation. Yeah, you can see again a list of all these regulations. We've sent you also the links to both to DORA and to this CDR. This is this regulatory technical standard called CDR 2024-1774, and then you can read all these requirements directly there. So lots of requirements, lots of actually things to comply with. And also we'll send you now a link to this article which explains in more detail how to organize training and awareness for DORA. You'll see the link now in the chat window. All right, now let's move on to another thing. And so one thing are the requirements, and another thing is, you know, how to implement this in practice. First of all, you have to, you know, think through what are specific audiences in your company, because you're not actually going to push each and every, let's say, piece of training to everyone in the company. There are some things that are going to be common for everyone. So here are a couple of examples. So let's say the basics of the standard, like, you know, what is, I don't know, ISO 27001. Basically, you know, everyone in the company should know this if your company goes to the certification. Some basic cyber hygiene practices, like, you know, doing the backup, using antiviruses, these kind of things, how you handle incidents. If an incident happens, you know, who you have to call, how do you notify this person, these kind of things. But then there are, you know, topics that are specific for specific people. For example, cybersecurity governance. So who basically, you know, makes the main decisions for the company. In case of ISO 27001, you have this top level policy, you have management review, these kind of things. Now, about these things, you're not going to teach each and every person in your company. Doesn't make sense, right? So you will teach only the senior management about these governance responsibilities are under 27001. Then you will have topics around the implementation steps. And you're not going to, I would say, waste your senior management's time with implementation steps. Rather, you should focus on, let's say, your project team. If you have project team for 27001 implementation, then you will probably have to train your members of the project team on how do you implement this kind of project. When it comes to specific, let's say, topics like encryption, again, you're not going to, you know, teach your, I don't know, project team about how to implement the encryption controls. This is something that you have to teach your IT team, right? So my point being here is that there are some topics that will be, let's say, common for everyone in the company, but in most cases you will have to develop different topics for different people in the company, because otherwise what will happen is that you will have lots of unhappy people that have to go through some training that is completely irrelevant for their jobs, and then you will basically do something very bad for security in your company. So you want to be highly relevant, and this is, I would say, part of your success. And to do this, you know, you need to know exactly what the audiences are, and then adapt these training programs for these audiences. Okay, good. Now let me go to another slide where I actually include what are the options for delivering company training, right? So there are, I would say, three most common ways. So one is to have this instructor-led classroom type training. This is basically where you put all the people in one room, and then you have instructor or trainer explaining something to them. Second way is that you have instructor-led online training. So this would be a training that is delivered, let's say, through Zoom, like this webinar now, or that is delivered through, I don't know, Microsoft Teams and something like this. So basically, this is the training delivered in real time, but through some online means. And then a third third channel or third way to deliver a training is through these pre-recorded videos via some training platform. In this case, you basically record the videos, upload them to the training platform, and then you don't have to deliver these trainings in real time. You are actually delivering them through basically on as needed basis, on demand basis. Now let's see what are the advantages and disadvantages of each of these approaches. Of course, for this first one, instructor-led classroom type training, the biggest advantage is that you can actually achieve high interaction. So if you have, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 people in the room that are listening to you, then usually you will have a very deep interaction with them. So whenever you're explaining something, you will have lots of questions, and then the trainer will be able to actually explain things much more better. The biggest disadvantage here is this is hard to organize, especially for a larger group of people. I mean, let's say that you have 200 people, 200 employees in the company. It's very hard to actually push all of these people into one room, especially if you have, you know, various locations in your company. Maybe you have locations around the world. So then this becomes almost impossible. So this instructor-led classroom type training is basically the best if you have smaller groups and if you have very complex topics, right? It doesn't make sense, you know, to push you know, many people in the same room just to explain them the basics of, I don't know, doing the backup. It's such a simple topic that doesn't need this kind of an instructor-led classroom type training. On the other hand, if you have a very complex topic like, you know, how to perform risk management, then it might make sense really to organize this kind of a training. Okay, a second type, this instructor-led online training, the advantage is, of course, that it's much easier to organize than the classroom type. The disadvantage is that the interaction is not ideal. Unfortunately, attendees, when they go for these online trainings, even if they're live, meaning real time, they're not as, they don't really participate as much. Of course, you can stimulate them to participate, but again, it's not going to be as interactive as with the classroom type. And I would say that this instructor-led is best for, I would say, medium-sized groups, so not overly large groups, because then it becomes very hard to organize this training again because of the time zones, because of the lots of people involved. And if there are too many people, you theoretically could have you know, hundreds or thousands of people on a Zoom call. I mean, we do have this also on our webinars, but then the interaction is very low, right? Because if you are one of I don't know, 500 attendees, it's not very likely that you will ask many questions. Now, these pre-recorded videos of our training platform, they're, out of these three options, they're the easiest to organize, because again, it's you simply send an email and you're done. Of course, you have to upload the videos, but when this is done, it's very easy to distribute them. The biggest disadvantage there is that there is really low interaction or no interaction between the attendees and the trainer. What does this mean? This means that it's appropriate for, I would say, basic topics, okay, not for some complex or, you know, big topics. So for some basic topics and for larger groups. So what is my point here? My point here is that you should actually think through what kind of training you need to organize. And it's not that you have to choose only one of these options. Rather, you should think of all the three options depending on what kind of audience you have, what kind of topics you need to present, and basically what kind of budget your client has. Okay? So this is something that you have to consider. So this is why I wanted to present you these options here. Okay, we'll also share now with you a link to this article, what are the options to deliver NIS2 DORA and ISO 27001 training, and this article explains this topic in a little bit more. Now, I see one question from Luca. it could be useful to create a starting kit for onboarding, maybe differentiate kits for different employees roles, and another recurring learning plan to be developed during months to all the company people. Yeah, it's a very good point. So when you have actually new people in the company, then you will have to take them through all the important, you will have to train them for all the important things, amongst other cybersecurity, whereas existing employees, they will have to get some regular training. Yeah, again, if this, let's say, onboarding training for new employees is, let's say, not so complex, then you can use a training platform. If, again, if this is something that is more difficult, more complex, then you will probably need to use some kind of instructor-led training. But in any case, yes, new people in the company, you can consider them as a specific audience to which you have to adapt your training. All right, now let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, this is where I actually wanted to present you this training platform called Company Training Academy, which is basically the best for this use case of, let's say, basic trainings for a large number of people. I don't think that this Company Training Academy is good for, let's say, highly complex topics. It's simply not designed for something like this. So let me, yeah, just briefly go through this, and I'll show you the screen how this looks like. So basically, it's a training platform or learning management system. It has more than 300 videos, covers 27,001 NIS2, DORA, GDPR, and so on. Multilingual, you will see several languages there. And you will see the ability to create training programs for specific audiences. So actually, let me. It's better if I show you this. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is how this looks like when you log in. And here in the main part, you will see this training program. So I already created some training programs, and I'll show you how this works in a minute. And here you have this lessons library. So let me start with this. So here you will see what lots of these lessons here, and when you actually click this filter here, you will see actually what you, I mean, what kind of content is uploaded. So let's say that I want to see ISO 27001 specific videos. I apply a filter, and you will see here almost 50 videos, especially for ISO 27001. If you open any of these videos, then you will see the explanation, and even better, let me open this one. You can see actually which clauses are covered with in this particular video. I can also see a preview of this video. It lasts, as you can see, rather short. Yeah, and there now goes the explanation. Okay, very well. Good. Now, also, you can actually select several other topics, standards, and you can actually go for some other languages. So let's see, what do we have in French? As you can see now, you have these lessons, I mean videos in French. As you can see, also it covers which controls are covered here. Okay, let me go back to all of these. Good. Now, what I also wanted to show you is really how to set this up, because this is, I would say, the best part of it is that you can actually do this rather simply. So when you want to set up a new training, you first select a framework. Let's say that you want to create cybersecurity awareness. So it's more a general cybersecurity. And then it actually suggests you what kind of target audiences you could go for. Because again, you don't want to send the same videos to everyone. You actually have to select someone. So let's say that you want to organize a cybersecurity awareness program for, let's say, for senior managers, right? And I select this, and then click continue. And then it allows me actually to call it whatever I want. So test. And you can select the country, and you can select the language, right? I could, let's say, select French here if I wanted to, or any other language. And then I click continue. And then the system automatically suggests what are the most appropriate lessons for that particular audience. So you can see remote work, privacy, passwords, social media, these kind of things. It doesn't go too much into detail for some technical things because this is for, let's say, senior management. If this was for IT employees, then it would be many more of these topics. Of course, you can remove any of these topics if you don't like them. You can actually reorganize them so that some topics are actually displayed earlier and so on. And then when you click continue, you will actually set the training program. So since this is senior management, they don't have too much time. Let's say that I want to show them one lesson, well, certainly not per day. Let's say one lesson every 2 weeks. And that I want to show them this not on Friday, let's say on Thursday. Let's say Thursday is the most likely day that they will actually watch this. I determine the start of the program. I click if I want to repeat this. I might repeat this, let's say, every 2 years so that they don't forget about this. I click continue. Then when I enter email addresses of all these people, of course you can add as many email addresses here as you want. And then click continue, and then you define if you want to test these people. So are you going to display only the videos, or lessons and quizzes, or lessons and quizzes and test questions? Let's say only lessons and quizzes. Let's say that you don't want to test your senior management, only quizzes, because this is internal, the results are not shown. And then you activate the program. And this is it. As you can see, you can do this in what? A couple of minutes. It doesn't really last too long, especially if you're using these this kind of wizards and all of these videos that are already uploaded. And a couple of more important things are here. So when you click this activate, then the training platform will start sending the email invitations to all of these people in the sequence, basically as often as you define. So every 2 weeks on Thursdays they will receive an email, and then they will actually be able to watch these videos. And then you will get a very detailed reporting on who attended the lesson. If you are testing them, you will see also the test results, all of these things. So it becomes very easy to see how this what is basically the output, what is the performance of your training program. Also, another thing that is important here, most of these lessons are around between 2 and 5 minutes. So again, if you're a busy manager, you will find still the time to go through some kind of awareness or training if this lasts around 5 minutes. Of course, if it lasted an hour, that would be a problem. But this is why we focused on this micro-learning concept, where doesn't really take too much time for people to watch this. All right, now let me go back to the presentation. So I think I've covered all these things. Yeah, we'll share now with you the link to this company training academy, and actually you can sign up for a free trial there. You don't have to pay anything, so it's I think it's like 14 days or so, and you can test out all of these functionalities, and you can actually start sending these invitations to some of your employees just to test how the whole system works. Good. Now there is a special version of this company training academy for consultants, and there are some extra features there, and one of the features is this white label. And let me actually turn again the screen and find this other one. Okay, so here I'm showing you this special version of Company Training Academy for consultants, and one of the things that you will see different here is that this logo here, right? So basically, if I'm a consultant, I can use this white label option in this Company Training Academy, and I can upload my own logo, and it will be displayed to me, but also, actually I can go here for dashboard. Sorry, consultant dashboard. It will be displayed to me in my consultant admin part, but it will also be displayed in all the screens for my clients, right? So my clients are going to see then my logo that I uploaded as a consultant. And by the way, you can actually upload it here. So I go for account preferences, and then you simply choose a logo and you upload it, and this will be displayed everywhere. Okay, second thing is that you can actually, in one dashboard, see all of your clients, right? So basically here you have client account 1, test company, so all of these are clients, and then you can simply add a new client and assign a specific license to it, right? And then you can actually handle several clients within one dashboard, and all it needs to create specific training programs for a specific client is that you actually click the name of this company, and then you can see here, now I'm handling, as a consultant, I'm handling this specific client. And again, I have the same interface as I've shown you a couple of minutes before, where I can simply create a new training, and this training will then be for this specific client, and basically it will be delivered only to the employees of this client. Okay, what is also interesting for consultants is here this ability to actually to upload your own materials. Because very often consultants create their own training materials, like videos or PDFs or PowerPoints or whatever, and then they want to display to their clients, and this is something that they can also do here. So they go actually for these uploaded materials, lessons, and here you will see that I already uploaded one test lesson in PDF, one test lesson as a YouTube video. So basically these are all the things that you can also do here. So if you want to have some specific materials that you're creating for your clients, then this is a way for you to do it. Let me just show you how you can actually see these videos. So for example, if I go here and I go for lessons library and I go for my uploaded materials, apply the filter, you will see these lessons, and let's see a preview how this looks like. As you can see now, actually this video is displayed from YouTube that let's say a consultant has uploaded, or this is the one with the PDF. So here you see an uploaded PDF material, and this is basically how it will be displayed to any of clients. Okay, Dennis is asking which file formats are supported in the consultancy module. So PDF, PowerPoint presentations, I think Word is also supported, and of course video. So you can use any kind of video, and it works like this. You basically upload it to YouTube as a hidden video, so it's not visible to other people on YouTube, and you share this link here, and this is how it works. You can also use, besides YouTube, you can also use Vimeo. Vimeo is also a very popular video hosting platform. Right, now let's go back to the presentation. Yeah, we'll share now also this link with you that is describes this consultant version of Company Training Academy, so you can take a look at a little bit more. Okay, now let's move on and see this pricing and options. Basically, the pricing depends on the number of people. And yeah, actually, let me switch back and show you how this looks like on the website. So this is the product page, and when you actually scroll down, you will see this. Okay, here it goes. So basically, if you have 10 users, this will be 14 euros per month. And as you use this slider, you will see, okay, so for 25 users, this is 28 euros. Let's say if I go for 400 users, this will be 300 users, the price of for 300 users. Sorry, 400 users, 380 euros. Yeah, you can see also the breakdown here of all the things that are included. Ultimately, if you want a very simple kind of calculation, it's roughly €1 or $1 per month per user. This is roughly the way to see it. You can choose actually between paying in euros or dollars, and you can also choose between paying monthly or annual. Okay, now let's go back to presentation. So basically the price includes unlimited access to any videos, so you don't have to choose what type of videos for pricing. When you're paying the price, you actually have the access to the whole library, to all the languages. You can create unlimited number of training programs. The only thing that you're limited in is basically the number of total number of users. You can actually create custom-made videos. You can upload your own videos in any plan, but we can actually make custom videos for you. And this is only for some higher plans. So I think it's for 500 users and more. So if you are, let's say 500, 600 users, then we can create actually videos for your company. This is a special service. And we can also deliver this live online training for also higher, for bigger clients. Okay, question from Luca. Is there a minimum period of time for the monthly subscription? No, you can use it for a month and then cancel the subscription. We won't be very happy with this, but yes, it's possible. So you can the minimum, the shortest amount of time is 1 month. So you can use this in this minimum time period. Okay, Katya is asking, do we get training reports or any other evidence to present during an audit? Yes, definitely. There are very detailed training reports. You can actually create a training per each student, and you can go in even in there is also an audit trail where you can see exactly which kind of lessons and at what time each user was attended, what was the success rate for each user. And then you can also create reports per training program and see what is the success rate per training program and also per each lesson. So you can actually choose, whatever way you want to display this data and use it for audit purposes or for simply management of these training programs. All right, yeah, let's move on. Now, let's go a little bit through these challenges with training and awareness that I received through email from you. And thank you for sending these messages and presenting what you're challenged with. Let me give you some kind of feedback on and suggestions on how to manage these challenges. So one challenge is training content is tailored to the specific needs and roles. So yes, I would say this is very often a challenge. Well, to have, I would say, tailored content, first you need to know what the audiences are. And I would say in most cases, the problem is that people are not actually separating audiences. And I think this separation of audiences is one of the first steps that you have to do. I would say before that you actually have to understand the context of the company. So, the business they're in, the size of the company, regulations, specific risks, let's say departments and so on. Once you know this information, then I would say the next step would be that you define exactly the audiences, and then you can define the training programs for these audiences. So I would say this is the way actually to create basis for tailoring the training for needs of audiences. Okay, keep participants engaged and motivated. Yes, this is a tough one. First, I'll tell you what does not usually work. What usually does not work are very lengthy training sessions and training sessions that are, let's say, very general and not, I would say, adapted to the company needs. Okay. On the other hand, what does work the best is when you actually have short lessons, especially if they are intended for larger audiences. Again, this is why we focus on these micro-learning 5 minutes. And if these lessons, or if you need to make longer lessons, let's say that you need really to make training around risk management for your specific company, and if this lasts, let's say, maybe a day or two, then you have to make it very, very specific for your company needs. So exactly, if you are, I don't know, a SaaS company of 200 employees, if you are, in a couple of present in a couple of countries, if you have this kind of clients, then you actually have to make it very, very specific for your case, because then it makes it, then it will actually make these participants engaged. Okay. Also, what we learned is that video works the best. Let's say written materials like Word, PDF, they don't work as good. So if you actually have to use a training platform, video is probably the best way to do it. Of course, if you're using in-person sessions, then it will be even better, right? It's a very good presenter will make his audience, his or her audience, engaged, and of course this is the best way to engage whoever is attending the training. Okay, coordinating with various stakeholders and teams. So yes, this is a challenge, and I would say that this kind of coordination needs to happen in this discovery phase, when you're actually learning about the company. When you're creating these training programs, you definitely have to adapt, you have to take into account their inputs at that point of time. So don't start to create training materials before you actually coordinated this effort with all the stakeholders in the company that need to be heard. Measuring the effectiveness of the training, yeah, so it's if this is an online platform, then you typically measure it through some kind of an online quizzes or tests. If this is done, I would say in person, then you can also use some kind of testing, but you can also use different types of let's say measuring if this was successful. You can measure, let's say, a number of questions, right? This is also one measure of how engaged the people were and how interested. You can, of course, you need to measure the number of people that were attending. You can also measure this in a way that you give some kind of a group assignment, and then that you, let's say, see or assess how good the output from this group assignment was. So there are various ways on how you can measure the effectiveness. Also, a challenge was addressing various levels of prior knowledge and experience among participants. Yes, so this is also one way. This is also something that you have to take into account when you create these audiences and define the training needs. And actually, this is related also to this previous question that I received during the webinar. If you have, let's say, new employees, then you can assume that their knowledge of, let's say, company policies and procedures are low. So you have to actually treat them as beginners when it comes to onboarding them into the company. Whereas for existing employees, you will not use the same training materials. You will use more advanced materials if they already know all of these policies and procedures. So it really is something that depends on this assessment of this knowledge is also a part of this defining the profile of these audiences. Okay, good. Yeah, let's then move on to our short conclusion, and then I'll move on to the Q&A session and answer your remaining questions. So, I would say this kind of a training platform was, really made to substantially reduce the time and effort needed for cybersecurity awareness and training. But you have to, keep in mind that this is only one way to deliver a training. Again, there are other ways, and you actually have to carefully assess if your training is really appropriate for a training platform. If this is something that is, I would say, more basic and appropriate for a larger group of people, then yes, then this kind of a training platform could be a good solution for you. And again, if you want to test how this works, you can sign up for a free trial. We'll send again this link that you can click and sign up for a free trial. And you can also schedule a meeting with our training expert, and he will actually show you in more detail how this works. You will see also this training, this link for our expert now. Okay, very well. Now let's move on to the Q&A session. Okay, so if you have any questions, please do send them now so that I can answer your questions. And before I start answering your questions, just a couple of notes. First of all, feel free to get in touch with me and ask any questions if you want after the webinar. And you will see on the screen now my email address. And again, feel free to use it and get in touch if you need anything. Second, you can follow me on YouTube and LinkedIn, and on my YouTube channel I publish lots of videos, and you'll see also lots of videos around Company Training Academy. So if you want to learn in more depth about this platform, then take a look at these videos, because there I show in much more detail, how you can use it as a regular user, as a consultant, and so on. On LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn profile, I publish latest news and tips on how to handle, ISO 27001, NIS2, DORA. So if you want to keep in touch and if you actually want to learn about latest things, then you can follow my LinkedIn profile. And I'd also like to mention this Secure and Simple podcast. This podcast is made for security managers and for consultants. And there I interview other consultants and professionals, and there you can actually learn about the best practices. Amongst others, you can also learn about best practices for creating security trainings. Okay, my next webinar will be how to sell ISO consulting services. And obviously this webinar is intended for consultants, and there I'll present various techniques on how to get leads and also how to convert these leads into paying customers. Yeah, we'll share now with you all the links where you can sign up for this webinar, and my colleague has already shared you the links for my YouTube and for my LinkedIn profiles. Good. Now let's see the questions that came in. So Scott is asking, can you create a custom quiz or test with our videos? Yes. So you can actually create a bank of your questions or quizzes, and then you can actually assign these quizzes or questions or tests to whatever lessons you like. So it's very flexible. It's very easy to create. It goes pretty quickly. Or even add a short video. So you can add a short video as a lesson, but we did not create now the ability to create short videos as a test question. So far we don't have this ability. So quizzes and test questions are in textual format. Okay, 𝗏𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗏 is asking just more information. Now that ISO 27701 will be certifiable, any plans for it on Advisera? So yes, 27701 is a standard for privacy information privacy information management systems, and this is basically for how to handle GDPR and other privacy frameworks. And yes, we still didn't decide on in Advisera, but there is a good chance that we will cover this standard as well in 2026, and that we will cover the videos for 27701 in the next year. So this year probably not, because this year we are planning to focus on additional videos for NIS2, or to be more specific, for videos that will cover local legislation in particular countries in Europe for NIS2, and we will be adding also videos for 42001. This is the AI standard, AI governance standard. So this is the plan for 2025. In 2026, yes, we might go for 27701 as well. Okay, I think these are all the questions that I received. Let me see if if anything else came in. I don't see anything. Okay, very well. Then let's move on and wrap up the webinar. Just a few words before we finish. So as I mentioned, this webinar today was intended to give you an overview of how to organize the training and how this training platform works. And not really to teach you everything you need about the training. For that, a special training would be needed Yeah, actually I'm planning to do a series of videos on my YouTube profile, and I'll probably publish these in the next 1 or 2 months, where I'll focus specifically on how to build a training program. And this is something that I'll publish on YouTube. Okay, now but of course you can sign up for a free trial of this training academy and really see how it works. It's very easy to use it. Again, you can simply try it out. And as I mentioned, we will give you the ability to download this presentation deck. So in about 10 minutes, if you actually joined through LinkedIn or if you joined this webinar through YouTube, then simply leave the tab where you're watching now this webinar, and then in about 10 minutes we will publish the link where you can download the presentation deck. So just keep on the same browser tab and go for this comment section, and in the comment section you will see the link for downloading the presentation. If you join the webinar through Zoom, then we will send you this link through email, and we will send this by tomorrow morning, so you will see this in your inbox. Also, what we will publish not only this link for downloading the presentation deck, but also all the links that we shared today in the webinar. You will see there, so you will be able to open them all. Okay, finally, we'll send you a link to our short survey. So if you have 30 minutes, sorry, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds of your time, I would be really thankful just to give me feedback on how I'm doing and what I can improve in my webinars. And this would be all. Thank you very much for your participation, and I hope you have enjoyed this webinar. Have a nice day.